First contact. The sleek silver spacecraft emerged from the swirling clouds of the Milky Way, its advanced cloaking technology rendering it invisible to Earth's primitive detection systems. On the bridge, lead researcher Zira gazed at the blue-green planet growing larger in the viewscreen, her iridescent scales shimmering with excitement. Prepare for orbital insertion, she instructed her small crew. Remember, we are here to observe and study only. No direct contact with the indigenous population. As the ship settled into a stable orbit, Zira reviewed the mission parameters one final time. Their goal was to study human reproductive practices and determine how this seemingly unremarkable species had managed to thrive and spread across their planet so successfully. Initial long-range scans had revealed some intriguing anomalies, but now it was time for a closer look. Zira activated the ship's advanced sensor array, focusing on major population centers. Data began streaming across the console, painting a picture of a bustling, chaotic world teeming with life and activity. She marveled at the diversity on display, humans of various shapes, sizes, and colors going about their daily routines, interacting in complex social structures. Fascinating, she murmured, her 3 hearts beating faster as she absorbed the wealth of new information. Their pair bonding rituals are far more intricate than we initially believed. Her second-in-command, Krell, peered over her shoulder at the data. But highly inefficient from a purely reproductive standpoint, he noted. Why expend so much time and energy on elaborate courtship displays? It seems to serve no practical purpose. Zira's facial tendrils twitched in disagreement. Perhaps there are factors at play that we don't yet understand. We must avoid making hasty judgments based on our own biases. As the days passed, Zira and her team observed humanity from their hidden vantage point, meticulously documenting every aspect of human relationships and family structures. They watched young couples on first dates, newlyweds setting up homes together, parents caring for their offspring. The more Zira saw, the more convinced she became that they were missing some crucial piece of the puzzle. Their familial bonds appear to serve a purpose beyond mere genetic propagation, she mused during a team briefing. The amount of resources they devote to child rearing is unprecedented among known species. There must be some evolutionary advantage we're not seeing. Krell remained skeptical, or perhaps there's simply an anomaly, a species that has developed beyond the basic drive for survival and reproduction. Zira shook her head, her bioluminescent patches pulsing with conviction. No, there's more to it than that. We're overlooking something important. Determined to uncover the truth, Zira decided it was time for a more hands-on approach. Against standard protocol, she prepared a stealth pod for a covert mission to the surface. If she could observe humans up close, interact with their environment, perhaps she could unlock the secret to their success. As Zira's pod descended through Earth's atmosphere under the cover of night, she felt a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. This was a huge risk, but the potential payoff in scientific understanding was immeasurable. The pod touched down silently in a wooded area on the outskirts of a small town. Zira emerged, her holographic disguise shimmering into place, transforming her alien features into those of an ordinary human woman. With cautious steps, Zira made her way towards the town, her highly sensitive auditory organs picking up the sounds of human activity. As she rounded a corner, she found herself on a quiet residential street lined with cozy-looking dwellings. Warm light spilled from windows, and she could hear the murmur of voices and laughter from within. Suddenly, a door opened, and a young couple emerged, walking hand in hand. Zira quickly ducked behind a hedge, observing them intently. The 2 humans were clearly pair-bonded, but there was something in their interaction that went beyond mere biological imperative. The way they looked at each other, the gentle touches, the shared laughter. It all spoke of a deep emotional connection that Zira's species had never experienced. As she continued her clandestine exploration of the town, Zira encountered more examples of human relationships in all their complexity. She saw elderly couples still devoted to each other after decades together, friends supporting one another through difficult times, parents sacrificing their own comfort for the well-being of their children. Each new observation added another piece to the puzzle, but the full picture remained elusive. Zira knew she was on the verge of a major breakthrough, one that could revolutionize her people's understanding of social dynamics and evolutionary success. As dawn approached, Zira reluctantly prepared to return to her ship. She had gathered a wealth of new data, but she knew that the true revelations were yet to come. As she made her way back to the stealth pod, her mind raced with possibilities. What was the key to humanity's unique approach to reproduction and child-rearing? And how had it shaped their development as a species? Little did Zira know that her unauthorized excursion had not gone entirely unnoticed. In a secret government facility, a lone technician stared a monitor in disbelief, watching as an unidentified object lifted off from the outskirts of a small town. As alarms began to sound, Zira's ship slipped back into orbit, carrying with it the seeds of a discovery that would soon rock both human and alien societies to their very foundations. The secret uncovered. As Zira's ship resumed its orbital position, the alien scientist's mind raced with the implications of her groundbreaking observations. She knew she stood on the precipice of a discovery that could reshape her civilization's understanding of social dynamics and evolutionary success. With trembling appendages, she initiated the ship's most advanced analysis protocols, feeding in the wealth of data she had gathered during her clandestine excursion to Earth's surface. Computer, cross-reference, observed human pair bonding behaviors with known evolutionary strategies across the galactic database. Zira commanded, her bioluminescent patches pulsing with anticipation. The ship's quantum processors hummed to life, sifting through millennia of accumulated knowledge from hundreds of worlds. As Zira waited, she reflected on the unique qualities she had witnessed in human relationships, the depth of emotional connection, the seemingly irrational devotion to offspring, the complex web of social support that extended far beyond immediate family units. Suddenly, the computer chimed, snapping Zira out of her reverie. Analysis complete, the AI announced. Results indicate a 99.7% probability of an undocumented evolutionary mechanism at work in human reproduction. Zira's 3 hearts raced as she pored over the data. What she saw left her breathless with awe and excitement. The computer had identified a subtle but powerful biochemical process triggered by human pair bonding, one that had eluded detection by their initial scans. Eureka! Zira exclaimed, her scales shimmering with joy. Computer, enhance and extrapolate. As the holographic display expanded, filling the room with swirling strands of human DNA, Zira's excitement grew. The secret lay in a complex interplay of hormones and neurotransmitters, activated by sustained emotional connections between partners. This biochemical cocktail didn't just facilitate reproduction, it fundamentally altered the genetic expression of offspring, optimizing them for survival in ways that went far beyond simple natural selection. It's not just about passing on genes, Zira murmured in wonder. Their love, their emotional bonds, are literally shaping the next generation at a molecular level. The implications were staggering. Human love, long dismissed by Zira's people as an evolutionary weakness, was in fact a sophisticated survival mechanism. It encouraged long-term pair bonding, which in turn created the optimal biochemical environment for producing and raising highly adaptable offspring. But the revelations didn't stop there. As Zira delved deeper into the data, she uncovered layer upon layer of subtle advantages conferred by human emotional connections. The social support networks humans formed led to increased longevity, better resistance to disease, and enhanced cognitive function. Even more incredibly, these benefits extended beyond the immediate family unit, strengthening entire communities. They've turned their entire species into one interconnected superorganism. Zira breathed, her mind reeling at the elegance of the system. Every act of love, friendship, or compassion is reinforcing their collective survival. As the full scope of the discovery became clear, Zira felt a mix of exhilaration and trepidation. This knowledge had the potential to revolutionize her own society, perhaps even bridge the gap between species across the galaxy. But she also recognized the danger. In the wrong hands, this information could be weaponized, used to manipulate populations, or even engineer entire societies. Just as Zira was considering the ethical implications of her discovery, a priority alert flashed across her console. Her unauthorized mission to the planet's surface had not gone unnoticed after all. Earth's primitive but surprisingly effective detection systems had registered an anomaly, and chatter on human communication channels indicated a rising level of alarm. Krell. Zira called out to her second-in-command. Prepare for emergency protocols. We may need to abort the mission. But as Krell rushed to the bridge, another alert sounded, this one from their own long-range sensors. A fleet of ships had just dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Zira's heart sank as she recognized the energy signatures. It's the Galactic Council, she said grimly. They must have been monitoring our transmissions. They know what we discovered. Krell's facial tentacles writhed with concern. What are your orders, lead researcher? If we flee now, we might be able to outrun them. Zira stood silent for a long moment, weighing her options. The Galactic Council would undoubtedly want to suppress this information, fearing the upheaval it could cause across countless worlds. But humanity deserved to know the truth about their unique evolutionary heritage. And perhaps, just perhaps, this knowledge could forge a new era of interstellar cooperation. No, Zira said finally, her voice firm with resolve. We will not run. Prepare a data package with all our findings. Transmit it to every major human scientific institution and media outlet. Krell's eyes widened in shock. But that's a direct violation of non-interference protocols. We'll be stripped of our ranks, possibly even exiled. Zira met her second-in-command's gaze steadily. Some truths are too important to keep hidden. Humanity has given us a gift beyond measure. It's time we returned the favor. As Krell rushed to carry out her orders, Zira turned her attention to composing a message that would accompany the data transmission. She knew she had mere minutes before the Galactic Council ships arrived, intent on stopping her. But in those few precious moments, she would light a spark that would forever change the course of human history. People of Earth, she began, her words translating into every major human language simultaneously. My name is Zira, and I come from a world far beyond your stars. I bring you a message of profound importance, a truth about yourselves that has long been hidden. As Zira's transmission beamed down to the planet below, the first ships of the Galactic Council fleet entered orbit. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate not just of humanity, but of all sentient life in the galaxy. In secret laboratories and government facilities across the globe, humans began to receive and decrypt Zira's message. Eyes widened in disbelief, hands trembled on keyboards, and voices raised in excited discussion as the full import of the alien scientist's discovery became clear. Meanwhile, high above the Earth, Zira steeled herself for the coming confrontation. She had unveiled humanity's greatest evolutionary secret. Now she would have to fight to ensure that this knowledge sparked a new age of understanding rather than an interstellar war. Galactic upheaval. The aftermath of Zira's transmission sent shockwaves through both human and alien societies. On Earth, the revelation of humanity's unique evolutionary advantage sparked a global frenzy. Social media platforms exploded with hashtags like #CosmicLove and #StarCrossedDNA, while world leaders scrambled to address their suddenly star-struck populations. Dr. Amelia Chen, a renowned geneticist at MIT, was among the first to verify Zira's data. It's unprecedented, she announced at a hastily convened press conference. This alien scientist has uncovered what we've been missing all along, the biochemical power of human connection. It's not just feel-good nonsense, it's literally in our DNA. As humanity grappled with its newfound cosmic significance, events in space were unfolding at a breakneck pace. The Galactic Council's flagship, an imposing vessel that resembled a metallic jellyfish, had taken up position alongside Zira's much smaller research craft. Unauthorized research vessel Zeta 9 boomed a voice over the intergalactic comms. You are in violation of multiple non-interference protocols. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Zira, her scales now a defiant shade of crimson, stood tall on her bridge. I invoke the Cosmic Truth Clause, she declared, referencing an obscure piece of galactic law. The discovery we've made is too significant to be suppressed. Humanity must be allowed to join the interstellar community with full knowledge of their unique attributes. A tense silence followed. The Cosmic Truth Clause had never been successfully invoked in the Council's long history, but Zira knew it was their only chance. Meanwhile, on Earth, an unlikely alliance was forming. Dr. Chen had reached out to Captain Jake Morrison, a decorated Air Force pilot with a reputation for thinking outside the box. If what this alien is saying is true, Chen explained, we can't let some galactic bureaucrats shut this down. We need to get up there. Morrison nodded grimly. I might know a way, but it's going to take some of that famous human ingenuity you scientists are always talking about. As heated debates raged in the Galactic Council's virtual chambers, Zira and her crew worked feverishly to compile additional evidence supporting their claims. They knew that every moment they could stall for time increased the chances of their discovery taking root in the human consciousness. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout Zira's ship. Unidentified craft approaching, Krell reported, his tentacles twitching nervously. It doesn't match any known galactic signatures. Zira rushed to the view screen, her heart's pounding. What she saw left her speechless. A vessel was indeed approaching, but it was like nothing she had ever seen. It appeared to be a patchwork of human technology, a repurposed space shuttle, its hull reinforced with scavenged satellite parts and what looked suspiciously like repurposed kitchen appliances. This is Captain Jake Morrison of Earth, crackled a voice over the comms. We come in peace and in defense of our new alien friend. Anyone got a problem with that? A chorus of confused chatter erupted from the Galactic Council ship. In all their eons of enforcing non-interference protocols, they had never encountered a species that managed to cobble together a space-worthy vessel in a matter of hours just to join the conversation. Seizing the moment of confusion, Zira opened a secure channel to the human ship. Captain Morrison, Dr. Chen, she said, recognizing the scientist from Earth's broadcasts, your timing is impeccable. But how did you manage this? Morrison's rugged face broke into a grin on the view screen. Let's just say we took your research to heart, Doc. Nothing brings humans together like a common goal and a looming deadline. This bucket of bolts is powered by equal parts rocket fuel and good old-fashioned teamwork. Dr. Chen chimed in, her eyes shining with excitement. We've been analyzing your data, Zira. It's not just our reproductive practices that are unique. Our ability to form social bonds, to cooperate on a massive scale, it's all part of the same evolutionary strategy. What you're seeing here is humanity's greatest strength in action. As if to underscore her point, the jerry-rigged human vessel began to glow with an ethereal blue light. Zira's sensors went wild, detecting energy readings that should have been impossible for such a primitive craft. By the cosmic core, Krell whispered. They're channeling the very biochemical energy you discovered, Zira. They've weaponized love. The Galactic Council ship, faced with this unprecedented display, began to power down its offensive systems. A new voice came over the comms, this one carrying the weight of eons of authority. This is High Counselor Xantar of the Galactic Federation. In light of these extraordinary circumstances, we hereby grant humanity provisional membership in the galactic community, pending further review. Cheers erupted from the human ship, while Zira's crew exchanged looks of stunned disbelief. Against all odds, they had done it. Humanity's secret was out, and the galaxy would never be the same. As the impromptu fleet prepared to descend to Earth for official first contact proceedings, Zira found herself reflecting on the whirlwind of events. She had come seeking to uncover the secrets of human reproduction, but she had discovered something far more profound: the power of human connection to defy the odds, to innovate, and to reshape the very fabric of the cosmos. Dr. Chen, Zira said, a new respect in her voice, I believe our species have much to learn from each other. This is only the beginning. As the ships began their descent, streaking like meteors through Earth's atmosphere, millions of humans looked up at the sky, their hearts full of wonder and newfound purpose. The stars were no longer distant and unreachable. They were humanity's destiny, and the greatest adventure in human history was about to begin. Cosmic integration. The weeks following humanity's dramatic entrance onto the galactic stage were a whirlwind of activity that captivated audiences across Earth and beyond. Hashtag Cosmic Revolution and hashtag Love Conquer Space trended across all social media platforms, while late-night talk show hosts struggled to keep up with the deluge of alien puns suddenly enriching Earth's lexicon. At the heart of this unprecedented cultural shift was the unlikely trio of Zira, Dr. Amelia Chen, and Captain Jake Morrison. Dubbed the Celestial Trinity by an enthusiastic global media, they found themselves thrust into the role of interstellar diplomats, bridging the gap between human and alien societies. Their first major challenge came in the form of the Galactic Integration Summit, a historic gathering of Earth's leaders and representatives from over 1,000 alien civilizations. The venue: a hastily constructed zero-gravity conference center in Earth's orbit, dubbed Harmony Station. As delegates from across the cosmos filed into the iridescent, bubble-like structure, the atmosphere crackled with a mixture of excitement and tension. Humans, still wide-eyed at the diversity of alien life, did their best to follow the crash course in interstellar etiquette that had been distributed globally just days earlier. Remember, Dr. Chen murmured to a visibly nervous UN Secretary-General, no sudden movements around the Zorgans. They interpret it as a mating dance. Captain Morrison, resplendent in a uniform that somehow merged Air Force dress blues with elements of sci-fi chic, was busy regaling a group of tentacled aliens with the story of how he and his crew had MacGyvered their way into space. And then we realized, he chuckled, that the secret ingredient was in our hearts all along. Literally. Meanwhile, Zira found herself surrounded by a mix of curious humans and skeptical members of the Galactic Council. But surely, insisted one crystalline being, its facets shimmering with doubt, there must be more to human evolutionary success than these emotions. Zira's scales rippled with conviction as she launched into an impassioned explanation. That's just it, she said, her translator working overtime to convey the nuances of her argument. Human emotions aren't just nebulous feelings. They're a sophisticated biochemical response that has shaped their entire species. What we once dismissed as irrational has turned out to be their greatest strength. As if to prove her point, a commotion arose from the Earth delegation. 2 representatives, one from a small island nation and another from a global superpower, had begun arguing over resource allocation in the new cosmic economy. Just as the dispute threatened to derail the proceedings, something remarkable happened. Dr. Chen, drawing on the very power she had been studying, stepped between the quarreling parties. In a voice that somehow carried both scientific authority and maternal warmth, she said, "Gentlemen, let's remember why we're here. We're not just representing our individual nations anymore. We're here for all of humanity." To the astonishment of the alien observers, the simple appeal to a larger, shared identity was enough to diffuse the tension. The 2 delegates, looking somewhat sheepish, shook hands and agreed to revisit the issue with cooler heads. "Fascinating," murmured a multi-eyed alien to its neighbor. Did you see how quickly they formed a new social bond? And the pheromone release was off the charts. As the summit progressed, it became clear that humanity's unique attributes were both its greatest asset and its biggest challenge in joining the galactic community. Their capacity for rapid adaptation and innovative problem-solving impressed many alien races, but their emotional volatility and factional nature caused concern. How can we trust a species that can go from mortal enemies to best friends in the span of a single orbital rotation? Demanded one alien representative. It was Captain Morrison who stepped up to address this concern, his roguish charm translating surprisingly well across species barriers. "That's just it," he said with a wink that set several alien hearts, or equivalent organs, aflutter. "We're unpredictable, but that's what makes us great allies. There's no challenge too big, no odds too impossible when humans set their minds and hearts to something." To demonstrate his point, Morrison called for a volunteer from the alien delegation. A shy, gelatinous being oozed forward. "Now," Morrison grinned, "who wants to see me and my new buddy here figure out a secret handshake in under a minute?" What followed was a hilarious and heartwarming display of interspecies cooperation that had the entire assembly buzzing with laughter and appreciation. By the time Morrison and the alien had worked out a complex series of tentacle slaps, fist bumps, and synchronized wobbles, even the sternest Galactic Council members were struggling to maintain their composure. As the summit drew to a close, a new framework for human integration into the galactic community began to take shape. Earth would be granted a probationary membership in the Galactic Federation, with a unique role that played to humanity's strengths. "We propose," announced High Counselor Xantar, "that Earth be designated as the galactic hub of innovation and conflict resolution. Your species' unique ability to think outside traditional paradigms and forge emotional connections across boundaries will be invaluable as we face the challenges of an ever-expanding cosmos." The proposal was met with thunderous applause from the human delegation and intrigued murmurs from the alien representatives. It was a bold move, but one that acknowledged the undeniable potential of humanity's cosmic secret. As the delegates prepared to return to their respective worlds, Dr. Chen, Captain Morrison, and Zira found a quiet moment to reflect on the whirlwind of events that had brought them to this point. "You know," mused Morrison, gazing out at the starfield beyond Harmony Station, "when I joined the Air Force, I never imagined I'd end up as some kind of intergalactic diplomat." Dr. Chen nodded, her eyes shining with the reflected light of distant suns. "And I never thought my research into human pair bonding would lead to rewriting our place in the universe." Zira, her scales shimmering with a mix of emotions her own species was just beginning to understand, placed a gentle appendage on each of their shoulders. "Perhaps that's the greatest lesson in all of this," she said softly. "The power of connection, between individuals, between species, between stars, to transform everything it touches." As they stood there, this unlikely trio of human and alien, the first seeds of a true galactic community began to take root. The journey ahead would be filled with challenges, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt, but it would also be illuminated by the very force that had brought them together, the inexhaustible power of human love, creativity, and determination. The cosmic secret was out, and the universe would never be the same. Stellar Horizons. 5 years after Earth's groundbreaking integration into the Galactic Federation, the solar system had transformed into a bustling hub of interstellar activity. The once desolate Martian landscape now boasted gleaming biodomes and a spaceport that rivaled any in the known universe. Humanity's influence had spread far beyond its home planet, leaving an indelible mark on cosmic society. At the heart of this new era stood the Terran Diplomatic Corps, an elite group of humans trained to leverage their species' unique emotional intelligence in navigating the complex web of galactic politics. Their headquarters, a magnificent structure that seamlessly blended Earth architecture with alien aesthetics, floated serenely in Earth's orbit. Inside the HQ's grand atrium, a holographic display flickered to life, showcasing the day's most pressing galactic news. The headline "Human-Alien Hybrid Wins Intergalactic Olympics" floated in shimmering letters, accompanied by an image of a triumphant athlete whose blue skin and extra limbs belied her partial human heritage. Dr. Amelia Chen, now sporting a few distinguished gray streaks in her hair, smiled at the announcement. As the newly appointed Galactic Minister of Xenogenetics, she had played a key role in unlocking the potential of human DNA to form viable hybrids with compatible alien species. Another barrier broken, she mused to her aide, a young Andromedan whose shimmering, nebula-like form rippled with excitement. Who would have thought our primitive genetics would prove so adaptable? Suddenly, an urgent alert chimed throughout the building. Emergency meeting in the Cosmic Council chamber, announced a melodious AI voice. All senior staff report immediately. As Dr. Chen hurried to the chamber, she was joined by her old friends and fellow galactic pioneers. Captain Jake Morrison, now Admiral of Earth's fledgling Starfleet, fell into step beside her, his rugged features now complemented by a neatly trimmed beard shot through with silver. "Any idea what this is about, Amelia?" he asked, his easy grin belying the concern in his eyes. Before she could respond, Zero rounded the corner, her iridescent scales shimmering with an intensity that signaled high emotion in her species. The alien scientist, now Earth's official liaison to the Galactic Council, looked uncharacteristically flustered. "It's big," she said, her translator struggling to convey the gravity in her tone. "Potentially bigger than first contact." As they entered the council chamber, they were greeted by a sight that took their breath away. The room's central holotank displayed a swirling mass of energy, pulsing with colors that seemed to defy the visible spectrum. High Counselor Xontar, the crystalline being who had overseen Earth's integration into galactic society, hovered at the head of the table. "Thank you for coming so quickly," he began, his facets refracting light in patterns that conveyed deep concern. "We've detected an anomaly at the edge of known space. Our best scientists believe it to be a tear in the fabric of reality itself." A collective gasp went up from the assembled dignitaries. Rumors of parallel universes had circulated for eons, but concrete evidence had always remained elusive. "The tear appears to be expanding," Xontar continued. "If left unchecked, it could destabilize entire sectors of the galaxy. We need a solution, and we need it fast." As murmurs of alarm spread through the chamber, Admiral Morrison leaned forward, his eyes gleaming with that uniquely human mix of fear and excitement. "So, we're talking about a mission to the edge of reality itself. Count me in." Dr. Chen was already running calculations on her neural implant. The physiological stress on any crew attempting to approach the anomaly would be immense, she warned. "We'd need to develop some kind of advanced shielding, something that could protect against forces we'd barely understand." Zira, her scales now pulsing with a determined blue hue, chimed in. "Perhaps the solution lies not in technology alone, but in the very thing that brought us all together. The human capacity for emotional resilience and adaptive thinking could be the key to navigating this unknown." As the implications of Zira's words sank in, a plan began to take shape. It would be the most ambitious undertaking in the history of the Galactic Federation, a mission to the very edge of existence, crewed by an elite team of humans and aliens, each chosen for their unique abilities and unwavering bond to one another. "We'll call it Operation Cosmic Tapestry," Admiral Morrison announced, his voice ringing with authority. "Because that's what we're doing, weaving together the very fabric of reality." As the meeting adjourned and preparations for the mission began in earnest, Dr. Chen found herself standing before the giant viewport, gazing out at the star-studded expanse. The universe, which had seemed so vast and unknowable just a few years ago, now felt like a second home. And yet, with this new discovery, she realized that humanity's greatest adventure was only just beginning. "You know," she said softly to Zira and Morrison, who had joined her at the window, "when you first arrived to study our primitive reproduction methods, I never imagined it would lead us here." Zira's scales shimmered with affection. "Perhaps that's the true power of humanity's cosmic secret," she mused. "Not just the ability to love and form bonds, but to continuously evolve, to face the unknown with open hearts and minds." Admiral Morrison chuckled, clapping both of them on the shoulder. "Well, folks, it looks like we're about to put that theory to the ultimate test. to the edge of reality and beyond. As they stood there, this unlikely trio of human and alien, now bonded by years of shared adventures and mutual respect, they felt the weight of the challenge that lay ahead. But they also felt something else, a thrilling sense of possibility, of worlds yet to be discovered and frontiers yet to be crossed. The cosmic secret that Zira had uncovered all those years ago had done more than just reveal humanity's hidden potential. It had set in motion a chain of events that was reshaping the very nature of existence itself. As Operation Cosmic Tapestry geared up, bringing together the best minds and hearts from across the galaxy, one thing was certain: the greatest chapter in the story of life in the universe was about to be written. And humanity, with its inexhaustible capacity for love, innovation, and determination, would be holding the pen. To be continued in Beyond the Cosmic Veil, humanity's next great leap.